from the bowling capital of the world, America's #1 bowling show. Championship Bowling. From the Firestone Bowlerama here in Akron, Ohio, it's Championship Bowling. Every week you see two of the world's greatest professional bowlers in match game competition. This is Fred Wolf, along with Billy Whaley, our statistician Sam Baca. Over $70,000 in prizes. This week, a couple of good ones. Fred Lening, a former winner on Championship Bowling, and Billy G. Better known, of course, or known as Billy G, but known really as Billy Golembiewski. And speaking of Billy's, Billy Whaley, how do you stack this one up, Bill?
Well, Freddie Lening being the defending champion and having won that title here at the Bowlerama, I'd say he's an outstanding threat, Freddie, not only to win the match, but probably to take the lead in scoring. He's got a great line. He's got a great role for this pair.
Well, we'll see what happens. Let's talk to him. Freddie, as a former winner of Championship Bowling, how have your practice sessions been? Are you satisfied with the conditions, your ball?
Yeah, I've been pretty well satisfied so far.
You've been rolling that 3-dotter in good shape where you want it?
Oh, definitely.
Now, Billy, how about you?
Well, actually, Freddie, I've got two different bowling balls down here. One that breaks pretty good and one that breaks very little. And I think I've got a good line out there.
Have you got them both out there on the rack? Did you just bring one?
No, I've got them both down here.
Both out there?
That's right.
If you change, let us know.
I sure will.
That is allowed, isn't it, according to ABC regulation?
Well, I hope so.
Well, I think it is, Bill. You won't have to worry about it. We're standing by right now for the start of this one. It's a good one, a good match between two great stars, all on Championship Bowling, from Akron, Ohio, the home of Firestone. Ready for the first game of 3. Billy G won the toss. Billy electing to start from the right side. All games starting from the left. That puts Fred Lening from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, known as the Moose, on the left. He is too high. Breaks it up. Nothing but the 10-pin. He had the 6-10. This will make it an easier shot. And I'm just wondering, Billy, when I say that, do you feel that's true? Kicking the 6 out? Would you rather shoot at just the 10?
Oh, very definitely, Freddie.
I believe some of the folks probably out around the nation watching might think they'd rather have 2 up there and stay away from that channel. There's the cover by Lening in the first frame. It's Billy G. from Detroit. A fellow that has done very well on the Bowlers Tour. Big lift. Solid 10.
There's a familiar little number, Fred.
Boy, that 6-pin was all around it, but nothing touched it.
See, Billy G's going to be playing a tight line, but he's going to be using speed to do it. And with that excessive amount of speed, he's a threat to leave that 10-pin.
Everybody was hanging on to that one. So both boys converting 10 pins in the first frame. We go into the second frame. Billy G from Detroit, Fred Lening from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, a former winner of Championship Bowling, and as Billy Whaley mentioned, a title that he won here in Akron, Ohio. Inside. Nice line. That's what they call the old frozen rope, isn't it, Bill? Very straight, very tight. Lening, of course, will be throwing the ball slower and possibly swinging with it. Out and back, and here it comes. Too high, breaks it up again. Flirting with a 6, 7, 10. in both the first and the second frame.
He's been a little tight on both of his first two shots, pulling the ball a little bit. There's that 6-10 spare, Freddie, and why we'd rather shoot the 10-pin. It's so easy to chop off that 6-pin.
Well, we proved a point in a hurry. Lening open in the second. Billy G out in front on the strike. Lening moves left for 24 games on championship bowling. This fella averaging .221 per game. Here it comes. And he kicks out the 5-7. Billy G, who won the 1965 Professional Bowlers Tour, won over $17,000. He was fourth in the money winners. Won the Hialeah Open, the Mobile, Alabama Open, back-to-back. Averaged .211 for the whole winter tour. Just like that. The old accordion ball. A double, and Billy G is off to the races. Lening has a long way to go, and it's happening very quickly here in the first game of 3. We're in the fourth.
Billy G rolls a full roller, Fred. That's the ball tracks between the thumb and the finger.
We seem to be with that one a little too long.
Whereas Fred Lening rolls a semi-roller or semi-spinner. The ball tracks outside the thumb hole.
3-6-10, the AMF Spearmaker indicating the easy way, the ball between the 3 and the 6. Well done. So it's a life for Lening as he steps up in the fourth. His first chance for a double. Billy G didn't miss his first opportunity. Let's see how Lening handles it. He's up short, inside the 12-foot mark. Here it comes. Doesn't carry the 10-pin. Another conversion. And Lening moves left. Lening is the only one of our field of 24, foreign-born. He was born in Dortmund, Germany. Came to the States when he was just 2 years old. He has 4 daughters and a son and was quite a semi-pro baseball player. Well, it's interesting in this left side, Billy, that Lening actually is holding the tight line, but his ball is coming in from a different angle than Billy G's is, and as some of the other boys we've watched. Deeper and tighter. There's one out the window.
That's why Fred's the real threat here, I think, Freddie. He can get that ball rolling. He doesn't give it a big turn or a lot of lift. He's got a little overturn there, but it still keeps it rolling. And he's not playing a big hook. So he's going to be in that pocket, and he's going to carry a lot because he's not fast. It's the ideal touch in the bowling game today.
1-2-4, converted by Billy. The end of 5 of the first game. Lening is 67 on a strike. Billy G, 84 on a spare. Gotta hurry. Doesn't get there. Kicks the bucket out. Nothing but the 5 and the 8. And it seems like Billy is starting the old fishing game. Been high, been short, and now just a bit short again. In the 6th. Recovered. So Billy has already lost 8 pins in count. Lening has lost 3. Fred is on a strike here in the 6th frame. His second opportunity for the double here on the right side. He has 2 in a row on the left. And it 10-pin here in the last frame. Too tight, manages to break it up. Boy, there's a look of disgust and disappointment. Six, 9, 10.
He might chop it again.
Well, he's going perfect over here. He's picked the 6 off the 10 twice. It's another open for Lening. And that cuts him ice cold in the 6th with 95. Puts Billy G out in front by about 25 pins. We're in the 7th. There it is. That's 3 in a row on the left side. And Freddie having all his problems on the right. Here's the G-Man from Detroit, born in Grand Rapids. Hurry up. Short again, the 2-4-5. You know, every week we talk about why don't you go bowling? It's great fun. I'll tell you, it's true, because bowling has so much to offer for so little. You can bowl with your family. It's very inexpensive. You don't have to get all dressed up. Most of all, it's a lot of fun. So look up your nearby bowling center in the yellow pages. Make a date. Go bowling. I'll bet you'll be glad you did. We're in the 8th. Billy covers. 119 spare. Lening is 95. Lening on a strike. The margin, 24 pins. There we are. The kick? Not enough. Little brush job, but nothing happened.
A little rock and roll there.
Well, that's the first time Billy's got a good piece of the pocket since the 3rd frame when he picked up a double in a hurry to take an early lead. He's now lost 12 pins in count. At the 7, he's not going to get there. Well, how about that? You won't see that very often. So the Moose hangs on with 2 misses here on the right. This is the 3rd opportunity for the double, all on the same side. If he gets this one, the match will be practically even. Big turn. There we go. Freddie brushing off his knees. I hope he doesn't break a leg out there.
The big fellow is real agile, Freddie. He's 43, 44 years old, and yet he gets around out there very well. Works hard.
Some of his friends was telling me he just was a real tough football player. He's a halfback, and he was a catcher in semi-pro baseball. Look at that. 4-7. Wasn't touched.
Fast 8.
Past 8. Freddie hits the scales at about 200 pounds. Pretty big fella, 5 feet 8 inches, throws the 3-finger ball. It's a semi-fingertip, but actually, he tells me, Billy, he throws it as a fingertip. Just puts the first knuckle in. 2 fingers. I think he thought he had a good chance at that one.
That's a very good ball. Probably his best ball of the match. Had a great roll, great power, and that sent that 2-pin over the top of the 4-7.
Billy G still out in front by 4 pins. There we are. Moving left on a strike in the 9th. The big build-up frame. Billy with a couple here can still pull out 200. The best Lening can get 193. There it is. That big reach with Billy holding that hand straight up. Now, how much of this actually, in other words, Billy, the follow-through and the lifting of the arm, he just lets it go straight up over his head. Actually, he's not, you can't do him any good up there after he throws it.
Well, it's all one-piece action, but that ensures him way through the shot. It's just his way of doing it.
On two, Billy G, unable to get the third one. He'll settle here for 194 with the cover of the 258. So both boys will be under 200. No bonus money. 5 in a row, and any one game starts a $250 bonus. He gets 9 for the count for 193. So Lening with 3 strikes in the 10th, and this could be a dead heat. Freddie has 3 strikes on this side. There's another one. So that's 4. Can still get 6 strikes on one side. Better correct that. He's got 2 misses on this side. He's got the strikes on the other side. He's picked the 6 off the 10 twice on the right side. He struck there in the 9th, in the 8th rather, first in the 10th. Lost his second in the 10th. A 10 pin, he'll settle for 183. So in the first game for Fred Lening, 183 for Billy G. 193 the margin, 10 pins. And I'd like to ask Billy, on the left side, on your second ball in the 10th, seemed to get away from you a little bit?
I think I got out just a little wide with it. I think I even threw a little harder.
You threw it a little harder.
I tried to hold a real nice tight line over there.
And Freddie, you seem to be doing your best on the left side. You got one double here on the right.
Don't show too much yet. I hope I do well on both sides.
Well, okay, we're looking for a lot of things here with 2 games to go on championship bowling from Akron, Ohio. It's Fred Wolf along with Billy Whaley and a good match going. Akron, Ohio, the home of the Professional Bowlers Association. It'll be Billy G. from Detroit starting the second game. He has a 10-game advantage at the present time. Billy Whaley along with Fred Wolf. He's in there, and that's where he wanted to throw that second one. The ball moved beautifully. Solid 10. Watching the 3 dots on Lening's ball, Billy, how do you check in his revolutions? You get a lot of revolutions there?
Oh, yes. His ball really rolls, Freddie. That's a built-in guidance system, and it tells him how the revolutions are going.
There's the cover. Bill Bonetta, working with us here occasionally, has got this thing down to where he can count whether it's 11 or 11 and a half or 12. And when the bowler throws the bad ball, according to Bill, he says that he was a little short on a revolution or 2. Revolution. All right, that could have been a double. And Lening continues to hit the left side. He's hitting the right side, but not carrying. He left the 10 in the first. He left the 10 pin there in the 10th frame of the first game. So Billy G moves into the right. Billy on a strike. 10 pin lead. Would like this one. Too high 4 pin. Just a little on the high side. Look back before this match is over, Billy, and find that 7 pin that Billy G missed in the first game just might be the difference. And I wonder how many 7 pins he misses. On the high side, the 6-10 we look at again. Lening has picked this one twice. See if Billy G will cover it. Lening now on a strike. The margin is only 10 pins. Not again. This is getting to be the spare, Billy. That's 3 times that we've watched the 6 picked off the 10, proving a point. As you mentioned, Billy, the boys would much rather shoot at the 10 pin.
Oh, right, Freddie. You eliminate all chances of chopping, and then, of course, you get one more pin on count.
1 double for Lening. Here it comes. He's got it. So that puts Lening out in front for the first time. Fred Lening, former champion on championship bowling, takes the lead with a big double here in the 3rd frame of the 2nd game. This fellow was the 1962 Metropolitan New York Bowler of the Year. Never threw a bowling ball until he was 28 years of age. Not there, not there. On the other side, all right. Let's take a look at Billy Golembiewski from Detroit in slow motion. Here's the easy way to do it. There we are. Billy G bounces back a strike in the 4th. I remember in one of the matches from Akron, Ohio in championship bowling, Billy, when Lening predicted he'd shoot 690. He shot 689. Oh, a new angle. A new angle.
That's desperation, Bill, there. Whenever Billy's not hitting him too well on the inside, he'll move to his alternate angle. He calls that his alternate.
Alternate. Well, he got away with it that time. Let's see what happens the next time.
It's like if the highway's a little crowded, you don't pass on the left, you go by on the right.
Take the side street, yeah. Lening on 3, looking at bonus money. He needs this one. Come on, boy. Get it up there. Oh,
well, he capitalized on that Brooklyn.
yes, sir. He made it count. So at the end of 5, we are halfway. Lening is 20 in the 1st frame. He's on 4 strikes. Billy G is 47 in the 3rd, working on 2 strikes. Sixth frame of the 2nd game. We're in the last half of this match, and Lening is on 4 strikes. Bonus money comes up with this one. Get it in there. He carries, and that's 5 in a row. Fred the Moose Lening from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. Oh, and he has no fear. When this fella's on a string of strikes, there is no stopping it. Billy G needs this one to stay somewhere near his opponent. Big turn. Snake eyes. Now, just what caused that one, Billy?
Well, Freddie, he's playing inside and he's using a lot of speed. With that deep an angle, if you don't get the good lift on it, or if you have a little too much speed, the ball won't carry through. It's not a bad ball. It just didn't finish at the right spot. It deflected off and, of course, got the double tap.
Billy shoots at the 8 pin. Takes 9, hopes for a miracle, which doesn't happen, and now is stone cold dead in the 6th with 103 against Lening's 5 in a row. You know that every 12 minutes that a person dies in a traffic accident? Now, the National Safety Council urges you and your family to observe all safety rules, both as an automobile driver and as a pedestrian. I don't know, maybe Mr. Billy G's come up with a new angle. Boy, that was from the corner again, and another strike. So at the end of 7 for Billy G, it's 103. He's on a strike as Fred Lening steps in, working on 5, and bonus money is going. Once more, here we are. And the bonus money now begins to look very attractive to the big fella from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. He rings the bell for another $50, now at $300. $250 for the first 5 strikes in succession. In any one game, $50 additional for each strike on top of that. And this fella is sitting on a $290 game, Billy. Once more. Here! 10-pin. Well, he almost jumped out of his shoes. That one was just a little on the flat side, wasn't it, Bill?
He didn't get the roll that he wanted, Freddie. It was the half pocket hit. Sometimes if you hit a little thinner than that, you can blow the 5 out. But he came up just in between.
The old in-betweener. At the 10, the cover. Nice shot. Fred Lening stops at 6. That's $300 in bonus money for Fred Lening, and he's piled on the pins here to have himself a comfortable margin with a game and 3 frames to go. Billy G, on a strike, has got to have this one. He's got it. So don't count this fella out. He's going to move left now, and I think we're going to see that extreme corner angle again. A pretty good hit from that outside angle, but he's still left the 10-pin. Billy G stops at 2. We're in the 9th. Fred Lening out in front by some 40 pins, 47 to be exact, at the 10-pin in the cover. The 6-10 has been up 3 times in this match. Lening has left it twice, picked the 6 cleanly. Billy G left the 6-10 and picked it. One of Lening's shots was the 6-9-10, but the 9, of course, not much involved with the spare. There's another one. Well, they got a lot of action there, shaking up the 5-7, and Lening in the 9th with a strike. He can't pick up any more bonus money. He can still finish with 4. He could get 10 strikes in this game out of a possible 12. And that's fair to middling shooting. Double in the 10th. Look at that. Everything seemed to be short of that 7-pin that time, Bill.
Right, he's swinging the ball a little bit now on lane 23, and coming in from that wide an angle, he's shot the 5 in front of the 7.
Lening left a 10-pin in the first frame, followed with 6. Then a 10-pin, a strike, and then a 7-pin. He has had every ball in the pocket. There's another. A little on the shaky side. Kicks out 5, counts 9, lose another 7-pin. For 248, losing only 2 pins in count, winning $300 in bonus money. Fred Lening from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania.
That
Gives
little
him 431.
Ruffman strike that he got back in the middle of the string was a very helpful strike in that game.
Well, they tell you, when you can get that lucky one, if you don't take advantage of it, it's not going to do you much good.
All right, if you're going to make a bad shot, pull it good.
The 1 and the 2. Billy G from Detroit. Has to spare, the count will give him 190. Give Billy 383. He's got to be almost 50 pins behind with 1 game to go. $1,000 to the winner. $500 to the runner-up. Both these boys will be making another appearance. The top 2 scorers in their 2 appearances will qualify for Championship Bowling's World Series, joining Dick Weber and Billy Hardwick. A little late. 190 for Billy G. 248 for Fred Lening. And as Billy Whaley predicted earlier that Lening was a dangerous man. He certainly showed us there with 6 strikes in a row. What do you care to prognosticate for the third and final, Bill?
Well, it's always hard to predict, Freddie. I think, though, that you can see Fred Lening's got the right roll. He's got himself located angle-wise now, and he could very well shoot another 248 game.
Well, let's ask Fred, now that you've crashed that bonus department, Freddie, with 6 in a row. You had a pretty good game, you know. You never had a ball out of the pocket, really, that game.
Well, I hope I can stay there for the next game.
Let's hope we don't look at any more 6-10s.
No, I'm kind of a little leery of that right now.
And, Billy, you missed a 6-10 also.
That's right. I must have been watching Freddie too closely. I picked it right off.
Well, we're going to be watching it in the third and final game. There's $1,000 to the winner. And don't forget, 5 strikes in a row. The bonus plan begins. And, Billy, you're eligible in the third game also.
Well, thank you.
We wanted you to know that. I thought possibly you didn't know you were eligible in the first 2. That's the end of 2. The third one, the big one, coming up here on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio, the rubber capital of the world. The third and final, Fred Lening, the Moose, from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, has a lead of 48 pins. The big turn. Here it comes. He's there, leaves the 10 pin again. That was the old in-betweener again, Billy.
Great shot for that lane, though, Fred. He's finessing that ball in there. You can't attack that pocket on 23 because that lane breaks so sharp. So it's better off to leave the weak 10 pin than a 4-6 split, you know.
Billy G. 48 pins. That's a long way to go. On the outside, another 10 pin. In the audience here this week at the Firestone Bowlerama in Akron, Ohio, a hometown boy that you've watched on Championship Bowling many times, Harry Smith, and his lovely wife, Joanne. Also see George Howard. Remember the PBA, also from Detroit. At the 10 pin, recovered by Billy. Georgie, no doubt rooting for his fellow townsman. And a 4-pin, a new one. Probably a tendency there of leaving that more often, too, when you're just a little bit on the high side.
Right, Fred. The ball finishes good. The lane's breaking sharp. Of course, he played it, so up jumps a 4.
At to thread the needle. At the 4-pin, the cover by Billy G. from Detroit. 19 spare as Lening with 431. Very cognizant of the fact that total pins are so important. In 2 appearances, the top 2 men qualify for Championship Bowling's World Series. From Akron, Ohio, here it comes. There it is.
Oh, he's a past master at carrying that hit.
Well, I could see those 3 white dots in action there just before the ball hit the head pin. They seemed to be facing us. I've been trying to watch where they are each time the ball gets to the pins. And it does vary. Not enough. The bucket, the 2-5, now nothing but the 5, and Lening did not get the double, and he's just a little bit unhappy with that. Cover by Lening, 20-40 spare. Billy G moves in on the right side. I see Billy's ball is drilled with, I believe, what they used to call the old Sarge Easter grip, Bill, with the fingertip on the second finger and the conventional, is it, on the third. Well, that one moved very well from the outside. As Billy said, he was going to move outside on both lanes, and he has done that. See what he does here on the left side.
It's a tough break for Billy G on a show like this to catch an inside pair. He's a much better outside player, as we call it. He doesn't like to hook the ball too much and has a full roller. So he likes to play it up and in.
Let's take a look at the big fella now. The Moose in slow motion. That ball made a move. So Lening now has 2 on the right. Let's see what he can do on the left. He's been in here. He left a 10-pin and a 5-pin, losing a shaker. We're at the end of 4. Lening still out in front. Margin about 38 pins as Lening wants to start the string. Too high, almost getting away with it, leaving the 6-pin. So there's still room for Billy G, but he needs the long string of strikes. At the 6th, the cover. So for Lening, 20, 60, 80, hitting the right side, not hitting the left. Billy G now moved to the extreme corner. I think he dropped that one down.
Yes, he didn't get the good swing. He was commenting earlier about rushing the foul line. And when you get up there ahead of the ball, you can't get that ball swinging through and get the good lift.
That's the one he needed. Billy G's picked up 8 pins now through the first 5 frames. He trailed by 48. The margin will be 40 pins, 5 frames to go. We're halfway through, and he just missed a 2-pin, and he can't believe that. So Lening actually now leading in this, the 3rd game. At the end of 5, Lening is 80 with a spare. Billy G open in the 5th with 96. Frames to go. Billy just missed the 2-pin. He missed a 2-pin and a 7-pin. He moves the 10, but it's still up there. You miss a 2-pin, that's being just a little careless.
He's a little careless out there today, Freddie. He doesn't get as much hook as he is looking for. And not facing the pin, there's no way that ball can swing back on those spares.
That's our 9th 10-pin. There's the cover. That would be our 5th miss. We have picked the 6 off the 10 3 times. Billy has missed a 2-pin and a 7-pin. Very unusual to see 5 misses. 1 match on championship bowling. In the 6th, Lening with the big turn. He's short, leaves the 2-4-5. First time he's been out of there in quite a while. So Lening out in front in this game by just 1 pin. He must convert this. The AMF sparemaker indicating the ball between the 2. Look out in the 5. He's going the other way. Oh, he missed it. There's another miss. That's a total of 6. And that's a life for Billy G. And that is going to hurt Fred Lening as far as his total is concerned. And that World Series. Short again, the 4-5, and Billy G is suddenly in this match.
Even missing a spare, he's still 20-pin lead. Strange things can happen, Fred.
Well, that 2-pin, we mentioned earlier that the 7-pin Billy missed, we thought might be important. Lening has just missed the 4-5 split. He may remember that 1-pin miss as the difference in this match. Now we're going to have to add the 2-pin to that. So Billy has missed 2 easy 1-pin spares. And he's just about those 2 misses away from Lening. Fred's giving him a lot of room. There's a strike and another one on top of that. And this thing can go down to the wire. Looked like Lening was home free.
This is the key shot of the match for Billy G now, Fred. He needs a strike here to put real pressure on Fred Lening. Now he pulled it.
Too high. Oh, he almost got a nudge back there, leaving the 6-pin on the nose. And that might have been Billy's last chance. One bad break against a good break, and Billy G could have pulled it out. There's still room, however, at the 6-pin in the cover. I'd have to check the record books, Billy, but I would have to believe that this exhibition of spare shooting here this week has got to set some kind of a record.
Not very often you see 6 spares missed.
6 misses in one match. There's a 1-2, and Lening got away pretty fortunate with that one, almost a washout, the 1-2-10. The margin is 27 pins. There are 3 frames to go. 2 frames for Billy G, actually 3 frames for Lening. So 27 pins would mean an open for Lening, a double for Billy G, with a couple of counts along the line. Be careful. It may go to the end. 2 open frames by Lening, very costly, both ways. Not only the possibility of losing the match, but for total pins. He'll have to have a big one in his next appearance. Hurry up. There's an 8-pin count. And all of these small counts have got to help Billy G. It's giving him room, Billy, if he can pick up a triple here.
Can't seem to take advantage of it. All of a sudden, Fred Lening has seemed to lose everything. He's up there way ahead of the ball. He's pulling it, and he's not getting any finish at all. His ball is sailing.
2-5 on the outside.
Pulled that.
Oh, he just got a piece of that 5-pin. So Billy G now with the opportunity still to win this match. It's the 9th frame. Lening has the spare. Billy would like the big count strike right here in the 9th.
Yeah,
he's not going to get it. He's short, the 2-4-5. You know, it doesn't matter, really, if you knock down 10 pins, 8 pins, 5 pins, 3, or maybe even toss one in the channel once in a while. Bowling makes you feel like you'd like to. Have more fun. Go bowling. It's the sport of a lifetime. Bowling is the fun sport. Right now, no fun for Fred Lening. There's the cover by Whaley. Whaley. Billy Whaley with us here. That's the cover by Billy G. 28 pins, and it's just about impossible for Billy to pick up 28 pins. If he goes all the way, he can get 203, and he's not going to do that. So the boys have really bogged down here in this, the final game. They both started out well enough. Billy catching a double in the 3rd and 4th. Then he missed a 2-pin in the 5th. Lening was 20, 40, 60, 80. Missed a spare in the 6th. Didn't convert the 4-5 split in the 7th. So Freddie's got to hang on for his 600 total. Cover by Billy G. Exactly the way the AMF spare maker indicated, the ball going through the 1-2. So Billy G will win the last game, but not by enough. He trailed by 48 pins, and Lening certainly gave him room. Billy couldn't come up with the key strikes. Here it comes. There it is. The old relaxer. And it's all over. I imagine Fred is wondering where that has been for this game.
Well, he had good concentration on the bench between frames because he was very slow with his feet that time, allowed him to get up there with the ball and get the good leverage.
Too high, 6-10. Well, maybe Freddie can make this. This spare hasn't been converted yet this week. We've picked it. We have picked it 3 times. Lening has picked it twice. Billy G has picked it once. The count for 173 would give Lening 604. Not again.
Pick it again.
How about that? Well, that's 4 times that we've looked at the 6-10, and 4 times, and that's another miss, incidentally, Billy. And I'm sure that this establishes a new record in the history book of championship bowling with the misses that we've had. We've missed the 6-10 4 times, and Billy G missed the 2-pin, and he missed the 7-pin, and Lening missed the 2-4-5. So that's quite unusual.
7 misses.
7 misses in 3 games by 2 of the real fine professionals who earn a living making spares and getting strikes. A string of 6 in the second game by Lening, $300 in bonus money. Billy, I'm going to let you ask the boys a question or two, see what they have to say about their performance this week.
Right, Freddie. Well, I think the big question is Billy G, of course, was changing angles, but did you feel you were varying your speeds, Billy?
Well, actually, I started off real hard, and then when I moved to the right, I had to start the ball because once you move outside of the ball track, why, you have to give the ball a little start. And I hit the pocket a little better, but my score didn't go up any.
Well, it's not an easy pair, Bill. There's not a lot of margin for error. And, of course, it makes it difficult to capitalize on speed when you leave that solid 10 like that. It makes it very difficult in the match.
Well, actually, when you move way out, though, you're still coming a little behind the head pin. Then you're going to leave more 10 pins.
Fred Lening, in the last game, you seemed to lose the pocket line that you had there. What did you feel was the problem?
I wanted to carry a little better, and I had a mental block on the odd alley. So every time I got up there, I wanted to help it with my body rather than just letting it roll freely. And then I lost it on both alleys for about 3 shots.
Well, you looked real great in the second game, Freddie. They can't take that one away from you.
No, not as long as they pay me.
Well, we'll be back for the presentations here on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the final results for Billy G. 193, 190, and 190. The total is 573. For Fred Lening, 183, a big 248, 172 finish. The total 603. It was close, and an exhibition of how to pick the 6 off the 10. Did you enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen? Freddie, how can you explain this 6 off the 10 business?
Just
4 times.
I'm just a little bit too accurate.
You're too accurate. Billy Whalen made the comment. He said that you fellas naturally would rather shoot at the 10 pin at any time, and I'm wondering how many of our viewers across the country feel that maybe they got a little better target shooting at 2, but of course you proved the point.
We would rather shoot at the 1 pin.
Of course, some of the boys have a little trouble getting the 10 pin, really. They like to have a little extra.
If they're here on this show, they're not having too much trouble with that pin, believe me.
I believe that. Billy, you gave us a great exhibition of changing in midstream, so to speak, starting in the center and moving to the corner.
Well, actually, Freddie, when I was practicing out here, I made sure that I had an extra line in case I got in trouble inside, because I normally do play an outside line. But when I got in trouble inside, I moved out, and I stayed nice and steady, 190, 190.
You were very consistent, I'll say that, Billy. As the runner-up, $500. And to you, Freddie, a little bonus check here for that nice string of strikes, and your $1,000 as the winner. And you boys will be making another appearance. We're looking for bigger things in your next appearance and hoping for the World Series of Championship Bowling for both of you.
So are we.
Very good. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Billy. Let's give him a nice hand. Sure hope you can join us here again next week at the Firestone Bowlerama in Akron, Ohio, when we'll have two more of bowling's top professional stars in a 3-game match, competing for a prize fund of some $70,000. So speaking for Billy Whalou and myself, this is Fred Wolf. Just keep 'em bowling out there. It's great fun. Great fun.